13 years after Full Metal Panic's second raid, in the spring of 2018, Full Metal Panic's second Invisible Victory aired. And it started off with a bang with the episode 1, 0 Hour. This time done by the studio known as Quebec, or Zebec, K-E-B-C-Bec. Studio that's been around for a while. Then unfortunately they closed down in 2019 after being absorbed by Sunrise. But they know how to make anime, and this is definitely one of their stronger suits. This opening shot, it definitely tells the audience they know what they're doing. They're a good studio, and they know how to do mecha. Although, like, the work I know them from is from Chirage X, so not the best example, but they do deliver in terms of quality animation. Anyway, we start off the episode basically kind of. This is a very foreboding. We see both mecha. We see what the studio is up to, what their studio is capable of. But it's basically a farewell for both Tessa and her brother Leonard, as they're both about to go to war with each other. This is kind of the last peaceful hour. They're remembering their mother and father's death. So they're just kind of at their gravestone over in America. But yeah, Invisible Victory starts off with a very strong opening. There is a fair number of action, but it's just basically kind of a warm up to get where it started. We see the Arbalest, and it's the white, beautiful creature. We see the Belial and its purple nature. Unfortunately, it's a bit incomplete, as Leonard will talk to a later person in just a second. We'll mention, but yeah, Agamemnon is done. They're done messing around. They're time to go to war. They're gonna capture Kamina and take out Mithril. The man who will make this happen, presumably outside of Leonard, is Mr. Kurama. He did not like Gates or Garon. He's a very serious person. What's interesting, the pilot of Belial is he definitely gives off a bit of a sarcastic little bit of vibe, like what we've seen of him so far. He seems like a serious person, but he definitely gives off the vibe that he's kind of on par in terms of nature with maybe Leonard a little bit. Like, he's not going to be. He's a little bit more flexible, a little bit more open. Open to being more fun, not super serious kind of person. Has a little bit more wiggle room from what I could tell. Basically, this guy seemed like no nonsense. The other guy's like, okay, I'll have some fun with you. He seemed more maybe more psychotic, basically. But while the chaos may begin, there are some finer moments in the story. We learned that the president of the school president, so to speak, the club's basically in charge of classroom duties, basically kind of like he's the school, like the student president body, basically. This character, I don't want to necessarily say his name because I don't necessarily want to butcher it. It is a bit long, but he's a character that he's more in the Full Metal Panic Fumafu. He makes more appearances in the side story rather than the bigger name in the main story. Yeah, the main story. He's more prominent in the side material rather than big stuff. If you've been watching just the main line series, not Fumafu, he kind of comes out a little bit out of nowhere, and I'm kind of sad that he didn't make an appearance at least in the first season or so. It kind of does a little bit of disjustice because how Sosuke treats him, he sees him kind of like a bit of a commander. And he looks up to him. He sees him as sort of a senpai, and he's a bit grounded in nature. So it's kind of a shame that he doesn't make more prominent in the main story. I think in the novel he's going to be a little bit. He makes his appearance a little bit in the third collection. I think maybe a little bit in the fourth. He's a little bit helpful. I think I remember him being in volume 9 for sure. I think it's been a while. I do know that in this Invisible Victory is definitely a gunshot in terms of action and everything. It's very heavy. Basically, Sosuke is talking to the former class president, saying he's telling him that I'm going to be going, I'm going to be away, I can no longer protect you at the school. He realizes that Kamina is a bit special, and he's kind of tells him if your life is going to be this way, you're going to need to buckle up, be serious, or potentially disappear. I think he's kind of warning him things are going to get very big rocky. He's of course very friendly and everything. He's just giving him a fair warning. But in addition to that, we do have a very cute moment where Sosuke and Kamina kind of cement their relationship a little bit. They hold hands together. They're kind of just walking along, and Sosuke thinks it's a good idea. Like, just decides to do it. He's embracing his role and being a lover. He's showing that he's embracing the fact that he wants to be a couple with Kamina. And it's a shame that you guys don't get West American audience. We didn't get the Volume 6 to kind of confirm that. I think this might be a little bit out of nowhere. It just feels a little bit out of sudden, but yeah, they're kind of fully embracing their being a couple. They're kind of embarrassed by it, but they dig. Of course, their little happy moment could not be joyous, as this asshole has come forth. Leonard, the psychopath. He comes to the Kamina's house, telling her, "Why don't you just surrender? Because if you don't, life is going to be very hard." He's basically told him that Agumon is done messing around, and they will do anything to capture her and do whatever they need to make her part of their organization. And they want to get rid of Mithril. If she surrenders, I think things could go a little bit quieter. I think they're still going to want to get rid of Mithril regardless, but he's tried to do his little lovey-dovey action and say, Sosuke has killed over 100 people, like justifying his actions that he's the better person. Because from season 2, we realized he was able to kill the little girl, the killer, really easily. That one, I don't blame him for what he did, but you kind of get a bit of once you kind of learn what more Agumon is about and their purpose in life, he definitely adds to the character. This guy is very psychotic. He's kind of like an Iron Man in the first Iron Man movie, where he creates all these weapons and for peace and everything, but when he discovers that weapons are using other purposes, he tries to make amends. Leonard is the kind of person who knows the weapons are being dealt with, used for evil purpose and everything, but because he doesn't have his blood on his hands, he thinks it's okay, or he thinks Sosuke is a lesser being, or is more monstrous to him because he's actually taken life. Now, to be fair, Sosuke has had a rough life. It's like you're comparing apples and oranges. Yes, they're both fruit, but they have they're quite different. In this case, Sosuke kind of killed to survive and protect the people he cared about, whereas Leonard is more about causing chaos and bloodshed. He's a very different kind of animal, at retrospeak. But yeah, he does his little shtick. I will say that Daisuke Namika, it does a really good delivering his performance. He's sweet, kind of a little bit innocent, but he definitely gives off the very psychotic vibe. He definitely delivers a nice performance. Now, after this in Tale, or I think around the same time, we learn that, Agumon is all guns ho. They attack the base over in Australia, where Tessa's uncle works, and they're kind of wondering what's going on. They don't know if it's an attack or it's just a simple EMP, weather, and they're kind of discussing it. And when they ask for Callahan, he's a bit slow to give his answer, and we as the audience are alerted by just this screenshot from Marmaduke, I don't like that answer. They're kind of alluding the fact that he's going to betray him. So even if you didn't read Volume 6, or even listen to the Christmas special thing, they're definitely trying to hint at something. Yeah, he's not on our side completely. Now, even though Volume 6 is just a simple meeting between Leonard and him, you get the impression that they're going to be joining forces, from my perspective. I could be reading too much into it. I don't know. But yeah. And then at the end, we learned they're all surrounded by the Alistairs and everything. They're giving them paveway. Yeah, things are going to get nasty. It's going to be a serious business. Soski is actually hints at the fact that Kamina they should get married or something. He's very serious. He's gotten very serious and very serious about protecting her. But yeah, definitely Zero Hour definitely gives you an impression of what's to come. That this is going to be. This is like the Empire Strikes Back in terms of Almagon's approach to things. And we as the audience are letting know that this is going to be a tough fight to battle. They've got they're top of the food chain, so to speak. And we also learned that from Xebec that they're on par with their animation. I think Kyoto is definitely still better, but it doesn't. The studio definitely delivered. It's not that big of a difference. Like, could you tell? Yes. Is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. It still looks absolutely fantastic, especially. Well, I get in Xebec's case, they're able to keep up with Kyoto, so it's good on their part. But also, it kind of lends to the fact that Kyoto did a fantastic job back in 2005. It lends to their skill, but it just shows Xebec has the capability to replicate what they did, so to speak. Definitely Kyoto is definitely the better animation studio. I'm not trying to say anything lesser. I'm just trying to point out that they're able to match that quality. Or give that quality, even though it's many years, so of course they should be able to. But yeah, anyway, I've talked long enough. Maybe you'll probably get my point. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time for episode 2 next week. Hopefully, have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourself and like, comment, and subscribe.